Imagine stepping into the boots of a soldier 100 years ago. The ground shakes with explosions, the air is thick with smoke, and every step feels like a battle for survival. This was the reality for Canadian soldiers during World War I, a war that changed Canada forever. One of the most important and proudest moments in Canadian history came at Vimy Ridge, a battle that not only shaped the war, but also helped define Canada as a nation. In this video, we'll dive into what World War I was all about, Canada's role in the war, and why Vimy Ridge stands out as such a powerful symbol of courage and teamwork. Brought to you by Super Simple Sheets. From coast to coast, worksheets that work. Discover the full range of what we offer at supersimplesheets.com. Section 1. What was World War I? World War I began in 1914 after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria. This event set off a chain reaction of alliances and rivalries. Countries like Britain, France, and Russia formed one side, known as the Allies, while Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire made up the other side, called the Central Powers. Canada, as part of the British Empire, was automatically pulled into the war. Over 60,000 Canadian soldiers would lose their lives during the 4 brutal years of fighting. Trenches became the defining feature of the war, stretching for miles across Europe. These narrow, muddy ditches were cold, dangerous, and often full of disease. Life in the trenches was tough, but Canadian soldiers quickly gained a reputation for being brave and resourceful. Section 2. Canada's role in the war. Canada may have been a young country in 1914, but its contributions to World War I were enormous. Over 600,000 Canadians volunteered to fight, a huge number considering Canada's population at the time was just over 8 million. They fought in battles across Europe, from Ypres in Belgium to the Somme in France. One of Canada's most important contributions was in building a reputation for punching above its weight. Canadian soldiers were known as tough, determined fighters who could handle even the most dangerous missions. By the end of the war, Canada had earned a seat at the peace negotiations, proving it was more than just part of the British Empire. It was a nation in its own right. Section 3. The Battle of Vimy Ridge. Vimy Ridge was a 7-kilometer stretch of high ground in northern France. It had been heavily fortified by the German army, and both French and British forces had tried, and failed, to capture it. Then, in April 1917, the task was given to the Canadian Corps, made up of soldiers from across Canada. What made Vimy Ridge different was the level of preparation. Canadian soldiers spent weeks rehearsing the attack. Maps were given to every soldier, so everyone knew the plan. Tunnels were dug under the ridge to move troops safely, and an enormous artillery barrage was used to weaken German defenses. On April 9, 1917, the attack began. In freezing rain and heavy snow, the Canadians advanced. By the end of the day, most of the ridge was captured. Over the next few days, the remaining German forces were pushed back, and the ridge was firmly in Canadian hands. It was the first time all 4 divisions of the Canadian Corps had fought together, and their success was seen as a turning point in the war. Section 4. Why Vimy Ridge matters. Vimy Ridge wasn't just a military victory, it became a symbol of what Canadians could achieve when they worked together. The battle showed the world that Canada wasn't just a colony of Britain, it was a nation with its own identity. After the war, Vimy Ridge was chosen as the site of Canada's National Vimy Memorial. The towering monument honors the 10,000 Canadians who were killed or wounded in the battle, and is one of only 2 national historic sites of Canada located outside of Canada. The legacy of Vimy Ridge is still felt today. Every year, Canadians honor the soldiers who fought there and remember the sacrifices made during World War I. The teamwork, courage, and determination shown at Vimy Ridge remain an inspiration for Canadians everywhere. Conclusion. The story of Canada in World War I and the Battle of Vimy Ridge is one of bravery, sacrifice, and unity. From the muddy trenches of Europe to the triumphant capture of Vimy Ridge, Canadian soldiers proved themselves as heroes. But beyond the battlefield, the war marked Canada's emergence as a strong and independent nation. As we look back on this history, we remember not just the battles, but the courage and resilience of those who fought for a better future. Thanks for watching. Simplify your teaching journey with super simple sheets. Across Canada, we're known for our ready-to-use, curriculum-aligned worksheets. Dive into our educational solutions at supersimplesheets.com. Super Simple Sheets. From coast to coast, worksheets that work.